Brigsby Bear is directed by a guy named Dave McCary, and it's a brand new film that just came out that most people have probably never heard of. The first thing I'm gonna go ahead and appreciate is the marketing for this film. The trailer doesn't reveal basically anything about the film in terms of context. All it does is kind of show you what it mildly might be about. But the trailer itself really doesn't reveal anything about this movie's plot. And that's exactly where it should stay. Because going into this film, not knowing anything about it, really enhanced my movie-going experience, as I think it will for everybody else that goes to see this movie without knowing very much about it. And it's really hard to talk about this film and critique it to you guys without spoiling it, because the entire film revolves around a certain foundation that isn't revealed in the trailer that is much better experienced not knowing when you go in. So, I won't spoil it, don't worry, but just know that if this review may seem a little lacking, it's because I really am trying my best to not spoil this movie for you guys at all. So in the most mild, most vague, most simplest way that I can possibly put this plot to you guys is that it's about a young man who really loves this show called Brigsby Bear. It's like a really old, shitty, 80s looking kids TV show. He really likes that show, and he realizes that he has developed this passion for filmmaking, so he goes and seeks out that passion. But there is so much more to it than that. There's so much nuance and so much more complexity to this plot that you don't know about that you will really appreciate when you go into the theater and watch it. So ultimately, what did I think about Brigsby Bear? Well, obviously, for all the setup of me not wanting to spoil it for you, you can tell that I thought it was pretty damn good. So I ended up really digging this movie. And it's really mostly because the writing is excellent, the theme is really touching and personal to me, and also the acting was pretty good. This is a film that really conveys more of like the upside to humanity than it is about like the downside of our existence, kind of like a ghost story that really focused more on like being super rooted to reality. This one is also realistic, but it's more upbeat, and it's definitely more optimistic. And this isn't to say that there isn't any darkness to this movie. This movie actually does revolve around a very dark and weird concept. But this film uses that dark concept ultimately to pursue its main theme about chasing your dreams and chasing your passions. And I know that we've already seen a lot of different films that are about, you know, chasing your passions regardless what everybody else thinks, you know, screw everybody else, they're just haters, just chase what you love. That's what's most important. Yeah, I know we've seen a lot of different movies that are like that, but this film tackles this in a very nuanced and complex way, to the point where you yourself are actually kind of thinking, should this guy be chasing his passion? Is that healthy for him? Or should he just drop that and just do something that's more, you know, normal and realistic in our society? And it's really because of this dark foundation and this weird conundrum that he goes through that really allows this issue to be tackled in a really interesting way that I haven't seen in film in a very long time. Even though I said this film was very optimistic, which it is, that doesn't say that there isn't any moments where our main character is put through very intense moral conundrums. There's a nice handful of moments where our main character is put in some pretty mentally conflicting situations. Which our main character, by the way, is played by an actor named Kyle Mooney, in which I actually thought he did a pretty damn good job at conveying the kind of character that he has to portray and act like. Once you all go out and actually see the film, I think you'll understand what I'm saying when I say that this actor really was giving a difficult task in terms of trying to portray a behavior that's separate from normal societal behavior. But yeah, I thought he did a great job, and honestly, the whole cast did a great job. Mark Hamill is in the movie, if you guys didn't know. He was pretty good in it. He wasn't in it for that long, but he actually does kind of play a very important character. And one thing that I found pretty awesome about this film is that it's actually pretty funny. There's certain parts in this film that really made me laugh a lot. I mean, I think I laughed harder than I was actually supposed to, but it made me laugh pretty hard. And the comedy isn't like in-your-face punchline comedy. I think there's maybe like one punchline joke in this film, but all of it is essentially just like clever, comfortable jokes that you kind of have to think about whether or not you should laugh at it before you laugh. But I thought it was really cleverly done, and it was smart writing, in my opinion. As far as the aesthetics go in this movie, I mean, they're pretty standard. I mean, it's good, but there's nothing really, like, showy about it, or nothing really praiseworthy. One thing about the aesthetics that I think is worth praising, well, I guess it's aesthetics, but it's more of a direction choice, but anyway, the way that they chose to convey the Brigsby Bear show was really cool and intriguing, because it looks just like it's stripped out of the 80s, like down to the music, the color, the shitty practical special effects. Everything surrounding that TV show aesthetically was really interesting and really did make you feel like you were in the 80s. This film isn't set in the 80s, just to clarify. This isn't like a movie that was based in the 80s and it's filled with all kinds of cool 80s memorabilia. No, it's not really like that. But the TV show itself did really give off that vibe. So overall, I really liked this movie. I thought it was really creative, and it really impressed me with its writing and its clever use of comedy. This film takes a very generic and overused theme about following your passions, but it dives into it and expands upon that concept in a very nuanced and thought-provoking way that will really make you think more about this theme itself than you will get from other films that also explore the same thing. I really enjoyed this movie, and I can't wait to go out and see it again with my friends, so I'm gonna give Brigsby Bear an A. I thought this movie was pretty brilliant, and I ended up enjoying it a lot. And by the way, this is not a movie that's, oh, it's just for film lovers, and it's just for people who analyze film in a really deep way. Like, this is actually, I think both casuals and film lovers can go see this film and probably have a good time with it. I think film lovers will get more out of it and end up praising this movie more, but I think your average audience member can actually go into this movie and enjoy it. So please go out and see it. I implore you to go see it. This movie's probably not going to do good at all in theaters, so support it. Go out and buy a ticket and watch the movie with your friends. Well, alright, thank you so much for sticking around and hearing what I had to say about Brigsby Bear. If you've already seen Brigsby Bear, which you probably haven't, but if you have, I'm really interested to know what you thought about it, so please write a comment below and let me know what you thought about it. Make sure to like this video and give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the Misfit Pawn channel to be updated on more film-related content.